Hi guys, the first thing, yes, maybe, I don't know, I need to check that in another video. I need to connect both of them to the speaker switch and compare them directly. Having said that, welcome to my review for NHB-108. That's basically DartZeel amplifier clone review. This one is produced by company named, and I'm not kidding here, ASYPDZSW. Try to not spell that, but say as one word. I got this one off AliExpress for $560 with $60 coupons. Links to the store will be in the description, and you'll find also the description for my system setup that I was using during my listening sessions. I got that one because it's completely different from D5 Pro, and it has twin toroidal transformers, making it real dual mono. Manufacturer description says that the main amplifier circuit is one-to-one copy of the original one, using the same components and same value of components on PCBs. It looks really good on the outside, and it looks really good on the inside. Remember that the original DartZeel NHB, that stands for Never Heard Before, price is in range of $50,000. So $50,000 compared to $560 after sales coupons and after sale price. So quite a difference, right? Okay, some specifications. This is a B-class amplifier, and it's supposed to deliver 150 watts per channel into 8 ohms load. For 4 ohms load, it will double to 300 watts per channel. It has no global negative feedback. That's something that DartZeel construction is very well known for. It has 6 pairs of ON MJL 3281A and MJL 1302A transistors, matched in pairs, according again to manufacturer description. Matching is within 1%, and it's using 8 pairs of ON 15052 and 15053 pairs, also matched. The manufacturer in the description of the amplifier gives some AP test results. Believe them or not, I have no way to validate them, as I don't own an AP. So gain is given as 26.6 decibels. Signal to noise ratio is 126.4 decibels. THD is 0.00086%. That's amazing number. And THD plus noise is 0.005%. So pretty bold numbers, at least on paper. And the main question is, how does it sound? But before we get to that, let's take a look at the outside of the amplifier, and we'll take a look inside of the amplifier. So it's really heavy. In front we have just a power switch, and here you won't be able to see that, but here is NHB-108 in letters that are green lit, and they will be lighting when the power switch is on. Not much to see other than that. In front of the amplifier you can remove those metal blocks. They are not necessarily handles, because they don't really help you with grabbing the amplifier, with holding it. So we can remove them by unscrewing a couple of screws that are in the back here. On the sides we have cooling fins, yeah, like that. And in the back we have one set of RCA inputs, one set of balanced XLR inputs, switchable by those switches, and 2 sets of speaker outputs. On the bottom here we have a power connector socket with integrated fuse compartment, and very nice sign saying made in China, and that we should recycle that, but I've never seen anyone connecting those two things together, so the impression may be a little bit different. But don't throw that in the trash, it's actually quite good. Okay, so let's take a look inside. By the way, again, Manfred, thanks for the idea with the rotating stand. Okay, this is my high-tech way of removing top lid, because it's matching there very precisely. Yeah. So it's between 3 and 4 millimeters thick, very solid. I actually stopped talking about the quality of the chassis, because for all cloned amplifiers and preamplifiers, the quality of chassis is always top-notch. As you can see, for example, the thickness of this plate with transistors is at least 1 centimeter, I think. It's a solid block of aluminum. The same goes for the front plates, like that, and for the back plate. So let's take a look inside. Okay, so what do we have here? The first thing you'll notice are 2 separate toroidal transformers. Each one of them is specified for 400 watts. You can confirm that on the sticker over there. It's barely visible, but this conforms to the information from the manufacturer. Both toroidal transformers are shielded, which is a nice touch, because that's not very common with cloned amplifiers, and it's also not very common for regular, well-known brand amplifiers. So we can see power capacitors banks for the power supply. Each one of those, these are, by the way, these are ELNA for audio. Each one of those is 10,000 microfarads. So we have 60,000 microfarads per channel here. We can see double twin rectifiers, 2 of them per channel, and we have Omron relay switches here. These are used to connect the speaker outputs to the amplifier outputs. As you may see or may not see, let's zoom in a little. The power boards are branded with the brand name. Repeat after me: ASYPDZSW. Just faster. Okay, so what else can we see here? Let's rotate the amplifier and let's talk about the power supply boards. What happened to my rotating stand? Okay, it's ready. As I said, capacitor banks, rectifiers, and as you can see, the power supply boards are actually the same, so it means that we have a fully balanced design. 1 toroidal transformer, 1 power supply, and 1 amplifier board per channel. The only thing that these are having in common is soft start module here, which is also produced by the same company. There is a brand on the PCB around here, but there's no point in showing that. And we have additional rectifier board under the main power boards. I can try to show you the specification of the transformers, but no, you won't be able to see that. Okay, so let's talk about the amplifier boards. I think this will be the best way to show you the boards. Sorry about that, I need to yeah, okay. Now it was less sharp. Okay, so basically all the blue ones are V-shapes, all the red ones are MKP German WIMA. so top quality capacitors. The blue ones here and here are Elna capacitors. The small black ones here are Rubicons. And what else can we see here is this operational amplifier. It's I think it's OP07C. It's for DC server purposes. So you can replace that one with something faster and more precise, like single OPA 828. But you won't be able to replace that with any discrete operational amplifier, regardless of the if that makes sense. Why? Because there's too little space between the socket on the board and the shielding of the transformer. Again, blue guys are MKP V-shapes, and you can see transistor pairs here. That's the top part of the pair, and there is a second set of 7 of them per channel on the lower part of the board. What else? I think that's all about the amplifier boards, so let's do small panning here so you'll see the board again. Let's zoom out. Let's rotate that guy once again, and I'll show you one more thing. This small board is housing two INA 157 PA chips from Texas Instruments. They are still bearing bull brown markings. Can you see them now? You won't be able to see them. They are over here. One here and the second one here. These are basically balanced line receivers, and they are used here, very high class balanced line receivers. Actually the same that I've used in all trans audio builds called master with balanced inputs. What they do is basically they convert the balanced XLR input signal into single-ended, and the single-ended is then connected to the amplifier boards, because the original DartZeel was a single-ended amplifier. So I think that's all about the build, and let's move to the sound quality. Let's zoom out so you'll be able to see it like that, and let's talk about the sound quality. So bass is the first thing that grabs your attention. D5 Pro has a very good and very fast bass, but this thing here, it's just alive. It's probably not as precise as the bass with D5 Pro. However, the bass here just fills the room. It's everywhere, it's not covering anything, and it's actually making everything else stand out a little bit better, like let's say a super solid foundation. For example, La Bamba by Robert Hanner, percussion ensemble. It just makes you want to dance. Just stand up and move to this flowing bass lines. Putting this into perspective, this amplifier has one of the best bass foundations so far from the amplifiers that I've tested so far. Okay, moving on to the mid-range. There's a question here. Have you ever heard Walking in the Air by Yao Si Ting? That's a cover, obviously, but it's a very beautiful song. If you haven't, give it a try. I've always heard her voice as very smooth, let's say buttery smooth, but with this amplifier, the detail level on the vocals is so good that I've realized it has a hint of roughness. Not always, not with every word, but here and there is a slight bit of hint of roughness that works like, let's say, a spice, and it sounds even better. I wasn't aware of that, so this is something that surprised me. All in all, this makes male and female vocals excellent, full of nuances. But with a few of my tracks, and this may as well be something that's lying in the tracks themselves. I've heard that some of the mid-range had become a little bit shouty, not to the point that it would be tiring, not to the point that I would feel like I have to lower the volume, but just in a few tracks there was something that got my attention. But again, I will need to investigate further because I'm not sure this is something that's actually coming from the amplifier. There is a high chance that the mid-range here is so detailed and so precise that I'm hearing things that were masked with other amplifiers. So basically it may also mean that the track just is a little bit shouty, and I haven't noticed that earlier because other amplifiers were not so precise in this area. So moving on to treble. Treble is very airy, very open and very extended, same as with D5 Pro. It gives you this feeling that every sound is clear, that everything comes effortless and everything is very precise. I know it may sound silly, it may sound like gibberish audiophile talk, but the thing that I can compare this to is like very clean mountain air, if that makes any sense to you. So every string, every brass instrument vibrates in this clear air, and you can hear all the details of this vibrations. It's like, I'm sure you've seen in cinemas, in TV, commercials that are using slow motion effect with dust particles and slowly dropping or dripping water. So this is something that I could compare the sound of the treble here. Very precise, very delicate, and every nuance, every detail is over there. I like it very much because, as you know, I'm an electrostat guy, so clean, airy, extended and open treble is a must for me. Now, moving on to the next area from my notes, the detail. I'm not sure if any of the amps reviewed by me earlier has this amount of detail. I need to compare them head to head, especially Burmester 909 and D5 Pro. Why? Because this one has excellent black background that shows and actually underlines every little thing that's happening in your track. At the same time, everything is there, but it doesn't force your attention. I mean, it doesn't sound analytical. It has tons and heaps of detail, but it doesn't force you to listen to this detail. You are just listening to your track, you're listening to your music, and if you want to, you can dive in and find some little nuances here and there. Okay, so basically this amplifier, and I think I should have put that in the summary, but the detail level here made me want to re-listen to my whole collection once again, to look and to find some new nuances, new things that I haven't heard before. I know it's been overused, and in almost every, not exactly mine, but almost every review you can find on YouTube, everyone says this about basically any kind of audio equipment, but in this case, for me, it's true. I can hear some new things that I haven't heard before, and it makes me want to listen to all my collection. Now, moving on to the next section, scene and imaging. This amp is imaging monster. Everything is perfectly placed with right sizes, nothing is too small, nothing is too large, excellent layering and natural sized sound sources. It easily makes speakers disappear. Just close your eyes and you have beautiful, very wide and very deep soundstage. Center image is rock solid and it makes excellent impression in all vocal focused songs, because you can almost close your eyes and touch the singer. You can hear he's standing in the middle, a little to the left, a little to the right, and you can hear it's not a point source, but it's actually someone having a real size, real weight singing for you. excellent. In this regard, it's excellent. Now, for the power amplifiers, my reviews have additional section called ascents, because some of you may remember that my ultimate goal is to find the amplifier that will drive my Martin Logan Ascents 1 electrostats in the best possible way. So the power amplifiers I always test also with my electrostats, not only with my different dynamic speakers like those XTB-100 from Martin Logan, or for some Dalis that you cannot see because they are a little bit over there, and some other speakers. So the Ascents, as I was expecting, this amp scales very well with Ascents, and you get to hear even more detail with clarity and transparency. This means that it has no problems with driving difficult loads, as my Ascents drop down to as low as 1.2 ohms in the treble. And that's why I test all the amplifiers with my electrostats, because they present very difficult, very problematic load in the treble. And even with amplifiers specified up to 200 watts, 300 watts, it sometimes happened that the treble was muddy and soft because the amplifier could not handle that difficult load, which is basically not a, let's say, not a problem with the amplifier, because if amplifier is specified to be used with loads between 4 and, for example, 16 ohms, then if I'm trying to drive something that has 1.2 ohms, yes, it has all the rights to not work properly. But in this case, and in other cases that I've tested, this amplifier has no problems with driving difficult loads like my electrostats. And this basically closes the usual sections of my review, moving me to loose thoughts and summary. For this amplifier, I would need to add to my reviews a new section for transparency, because it's so transparent that it disappears completely, leaving you with your music. This is not something that I usually mention. If the amplifier is transparent, I'm mentioning this, but here the transparency and the black background is so good that I would probably need to add another section just to talk about this particular thing. It's so open, clear and natural that, especially with live recordings, you will feel like you are there. I mean, some of the reviewers used to say that you will hear that you will feel that the singer, that the band is in your room. It never works for me like that. I never feel that there's anyone outside me in this room. What works for me is I can feel I am in the place they were recording the track. If it was a club with many people smoking, I want to feel like I'm in that place. If it's live open venue, when someone is singing in the stadium, I want to hear like I'm there. And this amplifier is so transparent, it gives you so many spatial cues and so many small details and nuances that it perfectly creates this impression of the room, of the area that particular track was recorded in. And it works extremely well with live recordings. What else? It scales very well with my electrostats, never becoming a bottleneck. But this was also true with other top-notch amplifiers, top-of-the-line amplifiers that I've tested so far. I will digress here. As you have probably seen if you're following my channel, at some point, a couple of months ago, I stopped buying cheaper cloned amplifiers, and I focused my attention on the more expensive ones. Why? Because I've learned that as long as the cheaper ones are excellent and they are tremendous value, and they are, I will need something that will drive my electrostats even better. So there was little point in buying amplifiers in range of, let's say, $400, $300, because although they were excellent, they weren't top of the line stuff. So right now I'm usually buying more expensive things because there's a way better chance for them to win my little contest of being the best one to drive my electrostats. These are the guys, by the way. They are under the covers that shield them from the dust. Okay, so I think that Burmester 909 had a little more authority and still is slightly better overall than this guy, but it's also more expensive. I know you will ask for comparisons with D5 Pro and D9 Pro. The latter is still on the way. As I've checked this morning, it's somewhere in Germany, in Leipzig at the moment. As for D5 Pro, I will need to have a few sessions with both of them and the remote speaker switch connected that will allow me to use them both at the same time with my Astons. I have something like that. I reviewed this about 2 years ago. It's a simple remote controlled switch that allows you to connect one amplifier to 3 pairs of speakers, but at the same time, since it's using relays inside, it's allowing you to connect up to 3 amplifiers to one set of speakers, which is extremely useful when comparing amplifiers or speakers. But I will need some additional session for that, and this will take some additional time, as again, some of you may remember that I all of these reviews in my afternoons after my regular job. So please have a little patience. I will need some time, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, maybe even more, because it will require not only to connect everything, to set up everything, but it will require time for the listening sessions. And it'll be like 2 days, maybe 3 days from just listening to them and comparing them and taking notes about the differences. So this comparison is definitely coming, but I won't be promising you that it will be happening next week or something like that. If you already got D5 Pro, do not worry. The fact that I need a separate focused session means that the differences are very small, as otherwise I would be able to tell you right away which one of them is better, like it was, for example, with Burmester 909 clone. It was clearly better, and I didn't had to do a separate session to compare D5 Pro with 909. So this one comes with my very high recommendation because of the price and because of the value. If you like that video, if it helped you to decide if you should buy that one or have a pass on it, you're more than welcome to support my channel by buying me a beer using super thanks here on YouTube. Basically, I'm seriously using the money you're donating towards beer. Why? Because income from YouTube ads is something like $250 monthly at the moment, so it doesn't cover any costs at all. It just gives me, let's say, 1 or 2 escapades with my family to some nice restaurant. So I'm putting the super thanks money towards beer, and I always try to find and buy a beer from the country that the super thanks came from, and I get that by the currency. So that's my little hobby within a hobby. So if you have seen anything that I have missed when I was speaking about the internals here, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, give me a shout in the comments. I'm trying to answer them every second, every third day. It not always works out because, as I said, I'm doing this mostly in the afternoons, but I will try to get back to you. If you have one of those, please share your thoughts, because I've seen that since my first look video and yesterday, there were something like 21 or 22 units sold. So some of you guys already have them, some of you will have them pretty soon, and again, The links to the store will be in the description, and take a look at that link, because there will be some small reviews from other guys that got that one. So you can maybe not, they won't be as long as mine, but you can read from other owners what do they think about them. So thank you for watching this video, guys. If you'd like that video, stay tuned for more reviews like that, and have a great day ahead of you. Bye guys, see you next time.